ladies and gentlemen, it does appear that there's been a bit of weird information coming out with Wuthering Waves. And that is the fact that a lot of players seem to be getting their accounts banned after trying the new co-op event. And there's been a lot of theories, there's been a lot of potential speculation, and honestly, probably a bunch of misinformation regarding how these bans are happening, which game modes they're actually occurring in, what the state is of like their client or any third-party apps they might have running in the background. But as new information has revealed on none other than r/Gacha Gaming itself, one of the subreddits that we had thought was going to be the source of a lot of woo-wah misinformation has kind of keyed us into what might actually be happening. But before I get into that final explanation, it's time to kind of like set the tone, right, for what we're actually seeing here. So we got a post over here saying, as per reports, many are getting banned due to the new co-op event. If any player cheats, the whole team might get banned. Players who haven't participated seem less likely to get banned. And as like a ending line, right, this post is saying over here, to be safe, avoid the co-op mode for now until things settle. And so this is kind of the situation, right? The new update for 2.0 drops. And so when the co-op event drops, it was dropped midway through the patch. There might have been something going on in the back end at Kuro Games in sort of like the detection or maybe just on the administrative side that decided to start banning some more accounts. And so what a lot of people are thinking at the moment is that the co-op mode, the second you activate it and the second you start queuing up with other players and sharing the world, there's just something that goes haywire behind the scenes at the system, right? Maybe one person is cheating and running some like apps that are doing something, though I literally couldn't imagine what the apps are actually doing. And as a result, all three of the players in that session are now getting banned. However, is that truly the case? And so we've got this person, Rin, over here with that amazing Yai Milko tagline on Twitter. Please do something about this issue. I never use cheats, mods, or configs. And so now we get an update from this very same person, Yai Milko. And with another status update over here, this doesn't seem to be a co-op issue anymore. So who knows? Maybe co-op is safe based off of this. The person who got banned has now been confirmed to have used a third-party game booster. What can we learn from this? Don't use third-party apps like game boosters because doing so can get you banned. And so the purpose of this post is to simply raise awareness about some issues. This was posted before the whole game booster thing. That was actually quite recent, only 4 hours ago. And if we go into this, please, I know game boosters will be considered third party and never use them because I immediately disable them. If I was careless from the start just because of this game booster, I should have been banned a long time ago. My Hoyo account should have gotten banned too. And so we're still not fully clear on what the actual reason is here for all of the different bans. And if you're thinking about what a game booster is, to provide some additional context on it, it's a third-party application that you run alongside the launching of a game. And what it does in the background is it reduces like the processor load, the activity, the usage of other apps on your device. And because of that, there's more computing power available across your CPU and your GPU that can be applied towards the actual game itself. So that's the idea behind it. Hopefully that made sense. And so a lot of people are now wondering, oh, is this third-party app that I've been using a long time? Samsung and other phone developers, they have their own in-house game boosters as well. Graphics companies, right, like AMD and NVIDIA, they have their own game boosters as well that sometimes automatically launch alongside games. And so now we've shifted from, oh, it's the co-op mode getting people banned. And now it's like, oh, the thing that makes my game run faster, even as a technical third-party app. Now that's what's getting me banned. And so there's a lot of people extremely concerned. They've already reached out to Kuro Games themselves. We got the Yang bot coming in to let people know about the account ban issue and that they forward it to the relevant teams. And it kind of just seems like right now, not a lot of people are really clued in on what the actual cause of the issue is. And so with that, this entire speculative situation, right, which it's clear we haven't really gotten a single answer to it now because first it was co-op, now it's third-party game boosters. People don't actually know what it is. And when we go on over to the Wuthering Waves subreddit, the r/Gacha Gaming subreddit, where the post is saying players are reportedly getting banned from Wuhan, the new co-op event, posted by none other than a Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail player. Yeah, we'll take any opportunity to dunk on this game when we can. Just case in point, it literally just happened again. We're seeing over here that the post is locked. The moderators have removed it. Thank God they've actually done it. They've actually, prevented the potential spread of like misinformation and a lot of speculative stuff when we've clearly proven and seen that nobody actually knows what the f is going on. And there's one theory in particular that I saw in this post that I found really interesting, and I wanted to share that with you. And it also turns out that this post is, in fact, the most popular and most upvoted one. And so a lot of people are buying into this as well. And once I saw the explanation, it made a lot of sense to me. So let's go on and dig right into it. I'm going to bet it's the same as the 1.1 ban wave. And you can tell by only, or 90%, are Southeast Asian server accounts that got banned. And the reason for that is they bought the account from a Chinese seller website. And so if you're not familiar with the deep lore, or you didn't play WoWA back in 1.1, this is basically what happened. There were a lot of account resellers who basically were able to purchase an account with either Jinxie or Changli along with her weapon, or an account that had like 90 or 180 pulls right off of the bat, and they went ahead, they would buy that account for like $5, $10, $15 and just be able to have like a really strong start to the game. And obviously what that is going to do, right, is basically take money out of the developer's pocket for those astrites or those characters that have already been pulled or are ready to pull, and simply puts them in the hands of a reseller. And so this reseller is essentially farming Kuro Games, or even like for other games, farming the other devs of gacha games, basically by just having bots or AI going around doing daily logins and just farming stuff around the map. And so obviously, right, especially when the game is just hitting its stride with a brand new 2.0 release with a bunch of new features, a lot of great gameplay updates, and obviously one of the most popular characters they've ever released, Carlotta, the devs want to make money off that. Rightfully so. They put a lot of work into it. And so it is in their best interest to take all of those accounts and eliminate them, purely due to the fact that A, there is somebody else making money off of basically their product, and all they did was like run a bot, an AI script, or like, you know, like a farm with people in like the Philippines or, you know, somewhere in Southeast Asia, where they're just like grinding on like these new accounts every single day and then like 100%ing the map or something. And so these guys are selling those accounts. People in Southeast Asia are buying them, and what's going to happen is that those accounts are likely the ones getting banned. And we could even see it here. I'm not going to make any assumptions, but I assume that this is a language in Southeast Asia. Looks like Indonesian. Okay, so we've just confirmed that one of the people on Twitter that got banned is Indonesian, right, in Southeast Asia. And what happens is a lot of the people that got banned in the current wave going on in 2.0 that has basically just been active now about 9-10 days into the patch, they admitted they bought the account. So what you might find is that a lot of the people complaining about bans, a lot of the people that are talking about, oh, I went into co-op, or oh, I didn't even do anything and I got banned, oh, I ran a third-party game booster and got banned, let's ask them if they bought their account first. Because this is undeniably something that probably 1000% will get you banned. Not running a game booster, not playing the co-op game mode, but buying the account. That's probably why they got banned. And again, now that you mentioned this, I did some snooping through Reddit history of people who mentioned being banned, and the few I saw are from the Southeast Asia region, probably because they're posting in Southeast Asian subreddits. This makes way more sense. It was a bit absurd that people were getting banned because people thought they played co-op were using plugins. Going to be honest, I still did believe it at first when I first heard about it, but in my defense, Kuro did have some serious fuck-ups since launch, like the email leak. It's not like they banned people for that. So that's the real reason why co-op in Southeast Asia is bad. Waited a long time, but to no avail. And so what this has effectively done, right, is like this whole misinformation about the bans happening, this whole misinformation about like if you queue up for co-op and then somebody's hacking, you're gonna get your account banned. That probably is actively killing the co-op game mode right now, because everyone is scared of losing their fucking account that they might have invested, you know, like months or weeks into already, and they're at loss of losing it just from playing co-op. Yeah, it's probably killing the co-op game mode, but in reality, they're probably getting banned because they bought the account. Keep that in mind. Is there an actual practice somewhere of banning people for buying accounts? I always thought the no sharing clause is there to limit service provider liability, since account transfer related disputes are nigh impossible to resolve without an official way to trade accounts like an EVE. I've never seen service providers going after traded accounts for the act of trading itself. Guys, that's why it's in the terms of service. It's not so that they're gonna ban you because you gave your account to Bob to go play on it while you're on vacation or while you're on a business trip. It's not to ban a CC or an account where a CC is like doing viewer polls or doing TOA clears. It is to, because guess what, guys? You got the biggest streamers in both Wuthering Waves, Honkai Star Rail, ZZZ, Genshin Impact. They all do viewer clears and they all do viewer polls. And they are literally sponsored by the company themselves to do that on sponsored streams. And so just because the TOS says it's bannable, that doesn't mean that you're going to get banned for doing something like that. The reason why a clause about no sharing accounts is in the TOS is because they want to ban the people that are making account mills, that are running AI scripts, or like very poorly paid people in like like freaking like sweatshops basically, to grind on accounts so that they can sell them for like $10 or $15 with like pre-pulled characters or a fuck ton of resources. That means that they can ban the people, right, that are basically creating these accounts and selling them, and in turn limit the amount of business that these account resellers are making, because they're one of the biggest losses that a company can have in the game. And so this is the thing, guys. If you know that your pre-farmed, CN pre-farmed, ready to pull account, right, is getting banned the second you purchase it, you're probably not going to buy those accounts anymore. And that's how those businesses and services that are hurting the developers, that's how they go out of business, when nobody buys their shit anymore, because they know that the second that they do buy it, that shit's going to get banned. Does that makes sense? That's probably a lot more clear now. And apparently it does seem to be the meta in Southeast Asia to buy accounts. I'm not saying that this is entirely 100%. Again, this conclusion itself is speculation, but we do factually know that in 1.1 there was a gigantic ban wave for the game when people bought accounts. It isn't too surprising that there would be another ban wave again for 2.0 when it's kind of like the same exact situation, when there's a lot of people that probably are coming to Wuwa as newer players and like, oh, I'm gonna get the best start ever, brother, man. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get my Carlotta with the last dance, and I'm going to be playing her right off of the bat, and all I got to spend for it are $10 dues. I got old $10, and I'm going to have everything I need for this game. And then they buy the account, they play on it for a week, and then they're permanently banned afterwards. And so they're probably not going to do that again. And so a lot of people, right, that might have done this have not had that experience of being permabanned. And pretty sure all the people that have been permabanned, they just made a new account legitimately, probably just re-rolled and stuff until they got Carlotta, and then, you know, worked it out from there. So those are my thoughts on the issue. Be wary of a lot of anti-Wuwa, anti-Kuro content creators. You know who they are. You know, Gateo's obviously one of them that might be trying to farm this issue, right? Talk about, oh, how poorly designed this co-op event is. Oh, how poorly designed Kuro's implementation of third-party detection is. Oh, what a shitty company. They'll be trying to do that, right? They'll be trying to farm this issue, basically feeding into the speculation that's probably false, and not looking at the most obvious explanation, which is listed out pretty clearly over here. My take is that it's probably account buyers, probably people trying to make their own dime off of Kuro Games' hard work. And yeah, Kuro Games is basically cutting off their flow, cutting off their supply, and, you know, forcing these people to find, like, you know, actual careers. Ladies and gentlemen, it does appear that there's been a follow-up attack, you might say, to the entire banning situation. And it does appear that the relevant teams at Hoyoverse, the customer service teams, have investigated the logs and found that the recent ban wave, they've confirmed that it is a ban wave. And so I do think it's about like the account buying situation. They found out it has no correlation to the cooperation event. So although Colors Have No Form is not really responsible at all for the situation that's been going on. And if people still need to find out what's happened, they can contact customer support in the link in that channel from the Yang Yang bot. And so there's another follow-up as well. The person who was previously banned, Rin Ye Milko, has said that their account is finally back. And so from what I'm looking over here, right, their union level is obviously level 77, but they still are in Southeast Asia. I do think that this individual was mistakenly caught, perhaps in some sort of like widespread IP ban, right? Maybe they were logging in via like some sort of like a PC cafe or something like that. Perhaps that that IP was shared with an account, or maybe a VPN, something like that, that was shared with an account that was obviously bought. And so since the most likely reason for a ban wave of this caliber is all of those bot accounts, those starter accounts with like Carlotta and her weapon, that's, in my opinion, likely something that happened. And it's good to see. Obviously, this account is union level 77. It's been played since launch. To have a union level that high, it generally just seems like they were caught in the crossfire. And so again, like I said before, it was all speculation, right? Third-party stuff, whatever. Account buying in this situation seems like the only actual explanation, and they were mistakenly caught in it. So that's my entire follow-up to this entire thing. Hopefully that all makes sense. I think there's really only one logical conclusion here. Account buyers got fucked. And maybe that's not as big of a problem as we're thinking. So I don't personally think that I called out this person. I don't think that they were lying. I thought that maybe they were mistakenly banned in the first place. I hope that Kuro Games gave them like 10 crystal solvents and maybe like 300 astrite for the entire situation. I hope that they did something to make it right, because this person hasn't been able to play for a couple of days. And if I ever gave the impression that they were somebody that was like actually doing wrong things, then my apologies for that. But it's pretty clear the only wrongdoing that's likely been done is on that account buying side. So with that, peace out.